We're going over the top this week on RPM, over the top of Sleeve Russian on the Summit 2000 Rally, where two former world champions spice up the entry for the second round of the Toshiba Computers Irish Tarmac Championship. And the buzz is coming to bear.
The morning after the night before starts with a dawn recce of Sleeve Russians. So by the time the 60-strong field gathers for the Enniskillen Motor Club's official start, the day seems half over. For three of the top contenders in the Toshiba Championship, it's a very important day, as they all failed to score in Killarney.
The conditions this morning are very, very slippy. We're open stage and it's really like driving on ice out there this morning. But we'll see how it goes. I think the policy this morning would be to drive easy and have a look at the stage.
Here we go, car number 2.
It's going to be very slippy this morning, as I said yesterday evening. That stage we're going to be slippy if it's wet, but you know, it's going to be the same for everybody really. And yes, it's a round of the championship and it's as important as any.
This event should suit me much more than Killarney will. I like this sprint type event, and for once everybody's probably on an equal footing here.
Well, we know where we're going, but we don't know where we've been.
We're really on the road to nowhere, as this private ribbon of tarmac has been built to take Sean Quinn's lorries across this mountain on the Fermanagh-Cavan border from his quarry to his cement factory. It could have been a purpose-built super special, as it provides all the challenges.
Andrew Nesbitt in the Cuisine de France Subaru is eventually credited with the fastest opening run, after a timekeeping misunderstanding is sorted out. But the car he really has to look out for is the other WRC Subaru, driven by Derek McGarity, with Chris Patterson on the notes. Despite this overshoot at the top of the mountain, Derek is second fastest, and it's on the loose that the Belfast driver excels, to such an extent that he's clawed back almost 30 seconds on Stephen Murphy by the end of the stage. Ian Greer is much happier with his Celica this weekend than he was in Killarney.
100.
Ian's style on the loose in the Taranto de Paul GT4 is a lot smoother than Austin's. Or maybe it's just that his tyre gas has been better. The tarmac champion records third fastest time.
Fast right, slowing. Repeat, fast right, slowing, dry, 80, K left, don't cut.
But here's a real sensation. Mark Fisher, fresh from his testing in the Works Peugeot 206, in preparation for his Acropolis Rally prize drive, is fourth fastest over the mountain in a Group N car. Mark Crowe has dragged himself off the golf course to sit with the 1984 World Rally champion Stig Blomqvist, and this has to be the equivalent to an eagle at every hole. The Swede is still a regular competitor at the highest level and comes into his own on loose surfaces, the type of terrain where he learnt his trade. This is pure magic. Watch the tail lights. He's dancing on the pedals, left foot braking to steady the car. And as for his fellow Scandinavian and world champion Hannu Mikkola, the man who was recently voted the greatest rally driver of all time in a magazine poll, well, he's just 2 seconds slower than the Swede. And the man who's enjoying the experience most of all is his son, Juha.
It's going great, a lot of fun. We had a little scare there, but you know, it was okay.
Everybody else is complaining about how slippery it is out there. How are you finding it, Hannu?
It is very slippery, yes. You know, the last bit by the factory, it's like ice.
James Cullen starts the event in second place in the championship, but it'll prove to be one of the shortest events in his career.
was up at the top of the mountain, you know, with the foggy bit, and I had it. I don't actually know yet what happened, you know, but I had a long right-hander into a tighter right into a left, like, you know, and I think I missed the second right as it tightened up. You know, it was my fault. Like, at the end of the day, I wasn't focused the way I should be for the place that you were in. We're a bit sore, you know, and that sort of thing. And Ellen's got a bit of a bump on her head and a bit of a cut arm and things like that, like, you know. But she'll live to fight another day.
But James is not the only casualty. Frank Marr will also roll his WRC Escort on top of the mountain, just yards from here. But he won't be out of the event. The third disappointment for the Fermanagh fans is when their local hero, Niall McShea, fails to appear at the end of the stage in the Citroën Saxo kit car. The mountain and the fog have taken their third victim.
By the second run over the stage, the fog is thankfully flown. And with no overshoots this time, the Car Extreme Subaru shoots to the top of the charts to lead the rally by 7 seconds. Andrew Nesbitt is almost 10 seconds slower than his sister WRC Impreza, but he still holds on to second place. Austin McHale and James O'Brien are sailing through the wind in third place in their Toyota.
Not knocked out, as Ian Greer takes us through the new section down into the cement factory.
60 square right.
The stage is littered with tyre chicanes to keep the average speed down to the 75 miles an hour required by the regulations. But between the artificial corners, the cars are topping 120 miles an hour at times. Somebody left a knot out there. The last part of the stage is ridiculously slippery. Years of diesel, oil and cement dust and a cocktail of torrential rain make a mulch that confounds the tyre technicians. 300 horsepower is not much use here, but four-wheel drive is essential. Ian's gently approach has paid off in the very worst of the conditions. The tarmac champion records the fastest time on stage 4. It's been almost a perfect day for Derek McGarity to date. Fastest on 2 stages and second fastest on the other 2. But as with Ian Greer after stage 1, his universe is about to cave in when the Impreza is found to be 13 kilos underweight after this stage. There's now a new kid on the block. Daniel Doherty, the Donegal driver, is playing with the big boys today, and he and brother Michael have little experience on loose surfaces. The Keystone Lintel car is the talk of the moorland. The Dohertys have climbed to second, and what's more, they have a 6-second advantage over the Nesbitt car. It could have been even more. Andrew Nesbitt shows he's the master of the handbrake. The McHale Toyota Corolla seems nervous, as once again the rains come as they cross the mountains.
Here, watch it. And quick left. And slight left. Repeat, slight left, 130, brake early. Turn 90 right. 70. Turn very fast left, very slippy flat, 110. Good man. 90 left, very slippy. Repeat, 90 left, very slippy. 100. Keep left. Top of crest. Turn fast right, no cut. Repeat, turn fast right, no cut. 130. Quick right, 50. Slippy. Turn hairpin right, no cut. 50 from here. Turn hairpin right, no cut. 60. Turn very fast left.
Yeah, with a problem on the last stage there, we used a soft, slick cut with cuts in it, but what we really needed was a wet or a good intermediate tyre. But we've changed around now. We're going to go back out on this because the last half of the stage was very slippy. So like it's a lottery really.
Mark Fisher is still fifth, but he has bigger things on his mind.
I was testing the 206 World Rally car in France all week, and probably spending all week in the car hasn't done me any harm for today at all, so no, it's very good.
From a driver who's starting his rallying career to Trevor Cathers, who's come out of retirement to challenge Fisher, the man who's inherited his former co-driver Gordon Noble. Brendan Kelly, dramatic as ever, lies third amongst the strong Group N contingent. As can be expected, Stig and Hannu are having a ball on the slippery surfaces, come rain, come shine. Stig, in the less advanced of Kenny McKinstry's Imprezas, is sliding to 6th. Watch this for some classic car control. Hannu equally has never lost the magic, but he's lost some road penalties and dropped to 8th. But the magic seems to be returning to the other almost forgotten Greer. Davy, in his DGM Motorsports Celica GT4, is very much looking his old self, and his times are proving that. The carried off driver is in 7th place. Stephen Murphy hasn't looked at home on the loose surfaces, but the Carlo driver, who was 3rd in Killarney, is hanging in there in the Profast Subaru for some useful tarmac points. And Corkman Frank O'Mahony, who's also in an ex-Fisher Impreza, like many, finds the factory section particularly difficult. James Gillen and PJ Gillespie are also in trouble here. They also lost time earlier when the engine switched itself off.
13 kilograms, the weight of a spare wheel in a jack. It's unlikely to have been done intentionally. From now to the finish, it's a shootout between 2 Subarus and a Toyota, with youth and inexperience to the fore in the shape of the Doherty brothers. They set fastest time on stage 5, and by the end of 6, they're a remarkable 8 seconds clear of Andrew in the pursuing Cuisine de France car. Nesbitt replies in the 6th stage to set fastest time, but has the Armagh driver left it too late? Austin McHale has slipped behind the Subaru, but less than 2 seconds separate them. The pressure is on like never before for the Carndonagh pair. Closing in is the twice Donegal winner and 1999 championship runner-up and the 5 times tarmac champion, both in World Rally cars. After 6 stages, they're 8 seconds clear, but after 7, it's down to 3. 3 seconds between them and the biggest win of their lives. Andrew Nesbitt may have been quickest out of the box this morning, but since then he's been overshadowed by McGarity and Doherty. Now, however, when it matters, he and Pirelli have really got it right, and the gap is down to 1 second with just 1 stage to go. Austin sets equal fastest time with Andrew on stage 7, but he has a 5-second deficit to make up. It's an uphill struggle. the Scandinavian honours are finally settled in Stig's favour when Hannu gets a puncture on the second last stage. The great Finn and his son finish in 10th place.
Davy Greer and Michael Reid are in a very unformed 9th place in the carried-up forklift Toyota GT4.
A second.
And Andrew Nesbitt and James O'Brien are just over 3 seconds faster than them on the final stage to take the win.
So it's Nesbitt from McHale from Doherty, and the championship positions look really interesting, with Stephen Murphy rather surprised, I would imagine, to be ahead from Stephen Finlay, Andrew Nesbitt, Fisher and Greer. Andrew Nesbitt and James O'Brien are the provisional winners, but it's been Derek's day on the stages.
As far as I'm concerned, I won the rally. We were quickest on most of the stages today. We won the rally fair and square, and that's my stand on it.
Andrew, no champagne at the end, but it was a fantastic day's racing.
Absolutely brilliant, but there will be champagne no doubt when we all move inside the Sleeve Russell here. It's been a very, very good day for Enniskillen, and the Motor Club run an excellent event. As you know, it was very slippy through the quarry, Sean Quinn's quarry there, but all in all we are very pleased to be here.
The shape of Irish international rallying has changed dramatically in the new millennium, with its Shiba Computers Tarmac series now being eligible purely for homologated cars. The clubmans, or entertainers as they're so often called, still run amongst the international field, but they now have a new national prize of their own to fight for. And boy, can these tail-out merchants live up to their name. From the start, Eugene Donnelly and Killarney native Paul Nagel looked like being the men to beat in the national section. Despite complaining of cramps in his hand, the Maharan driver is already in the top 15 by the end of the second stage. And by stage 5, he has claimed an amazing 10th place overall in the BioClear car. The Dadelow Demons, Tony Randalls and Dermot Lynch, were expected to give big opposition to the Big Mac car, but a big blow-up came on stage 3, followed by a big disappointment. Philip Shaw, navigated by Nigel Fraser, was also in trouble in the early stages, as Anthony Kavanagh's pictures show. They lost 4 minutes in stage 1 and a little more time here when catching Sean McCardle's ailing Taranta de Paul at Solika. The money-moored man then starts a brilliant recovery drive in the Glenvale Hotel Mark II. Wesley Patterson and Bob Kelly in the Celtic Utilities Sierra shadowed Donnelly for the modified lead after the first straight, with the Ballingarry brothers, Pat and Sean Milan, as always giving a good showing in the Kerry Mountains. By the gap, their unusual Mazda engine escorters power them onto the tail of John Strangle's Darien.
Caution, 2 right of a crest jump, 60 bump, 5 right. And caution, long 5 right tightens. Opens 4 left, 80. 3 right, 150 up middle. Okay, Mick, relax, relax.
The men see from the replay it's been a big accident and a very big fright for the Mahara man. Wesley Patterson should have been handed the lead, but ironically the Lisburn driver will also succumb to the curse of stage 13, where the Sierra suffers no less than 3 punctures and puts him back to 5th place. It's Philip Shaw who benefits most from the modified leader's misfortunes to take 2nd overall. An incredible recovery after being 4 minutes back on stage 1. For the Mullanes, it's the end of another happy weekend in the Kerry Hills and a 3rd place pot to polish. About to find out.
Left at the square left, don't cut. 130 up middle. Square left. Oh.
Caherbarna and Gortnagan stages complete the first loop, and the Pirelli shod Subaru continues to romp ahead. Andrews 7 seconds up after 2, 19 out in front by here on stage 3, but he's not getting carried away by his performance.
So you've got a nice little cushion now, you're just going to watch that gap.
Well, that's not really a cushion. All it takes now is a puncture. This rally is only starting. There's 5 or 6 men out there I'm sure want a challenge for the lead yet.
Second is equally sensational, considering how rusty Stephen Finlay should be in a rally car.
We're just still learning the car, and you know we're not going mad, but no, we're just keeping in there.
James Cullen is third, despite some considerable engine anxieties.
A little bit worrying at the moment. We had a problem in the last 2 with the car stopping and cutting out and missing and things like that, which cost us a bit of time, like, you know. So, but the problem is we don't know what it is.
James's problems are insignificant compared to McHale's. Stage 2, and a tricky little right catches out the Toyota man. There's not much room for error here, but there's no damage done. Or is there? Everything seems all right further down the stage, but on stage 3, the gearbox is giving trouble.
And slight left. 70, slight left again and right. 250. And slight left cut. And slight left again. 100. What's wrong with this? 6th gear, is it? No. 5th. Slight right over crest here. 130. Oh.
At the end of the Caherbarna stage, it's all over for the Aircomnet car, and McGarity catches the ailing Corolla. Frank's got the handling more to his liking now. The Tipperary man's 4th, just 10 seconds down on Cullen. Ian Greer has gone from 1st at this stage to 7th in 1 year. Maybe his wallet needs to be a bit thicker. Stephen Murphy in the Profast Subaru sets fastest time on Gortnagan, proving to be just what it says on the tin, professionally fast. But who's this man? Hugh Dunn in 9th place. Donny and Tim O'Sullivan are another sensation. But Pete Doughty causes a sensation of a different nature, as Anthony Kavanagh's pictures show. The English driver does get out of the stage behind Wesley Patterson's Sierra, and both are being pressurised by the Group N leader.
We're having good morning, Plum. This Group N Subaru we have, it's a good car, and we're just getting to grips with it now, you know.
How do you think you're doing?
I think we're leading Group N okay, and we're lying 13th overall, I think, or something like that. So, more than happy.
The march of time is graphically illustrated here on stage 5 as Andrew Nesbitt hones in on Ian Greer. And after 7 stages, the Cuisine de France car is half a minute ahead of Finlay. Andrew whistles along the shores of Lough Cara to build a 44-second gap between him and the Ford by the end of the first day. Just watch this for commitment. Stephen looks as if he's still on the loose, and he is at times. Cullen's engine worries seem to be overcome. Frank Maher and Pat McLaughlin will retire their Escort with a blown head gasket by the end of the day. Derek McGarity and Chris Patterson have moved up to 4th, 15 seconds ahead of Stephen Murphy and Mickey Morrissey. While Ian Greer and Dean Beckett enjoy their Lakeland drive in 6th place.
Right, watch it.
Four-wheel drive, left-hand drive and supercar experience. And that man, Dan, has slightly overdone it. Johnny O'Sullivan in the Mazda Centre WRC Escort is the second Killarney driver in the top 10. And Mark Fisher and Gordon Noble are way out ahead in Group N. So the Saturday stages have been good for Subaru and ProDrive, with Andrew in a 42-second overnight lead despite his spin on the last stage, and Mark with a comfortable Group N advantage. We go back into the Kerry Mountains after the break.
To the lakes, and it's wet all the way over the gap. Well, that should make for an easier tyre choice, but Andrew gets it wrong. His cut slicks are not dissipating the damp quickly enough, and he'll pay a colossal 13-second penalty for the misjudgment. At Kilmacalogue, he loses a further 4 seconds with a puncture at the end of the stage.
Andrew, you got something to hide there?
No, maybe something.
What was that about?
We had a little bit of a slip on the 2 stages back there. We hit a rock sticking out in the corner, and we're fully committed to the corner. These things happen, took the back wheel off her.
That 42-second advantage has slipped to 25 after the first 2 stages of the day. And at the gap, Stephen is really going for it. But in turn, he too will make a mistake on the Healy Pass, pushing the gap back to 36 seconds. James Cullen and Ellen Morgan can only watch as the WRC cars increase their advantage. But Derek McGarity will shortly be no longer a threat to the Donegal driver.
We unfortunately got a puncher about 2 miles ago and carried the puncher on up the hill and come into this left-hander. Didn't think we were going that hard. Obviously we were aware we had a puncher, but just overstepped it a bit and caught the edge of the road and pulled it in. Light roll into here.
Although the car was relatively undamaged, there's no more fun for Derek and Chris Patterson this weekend. But Stephen Murphy is moving up the leaderboard. After 12 stages, the Carlow driver is in 4th place.
Quick left.
The fog is frightening at the top of Tim Healy. Just look at that drop on the left.
Unseen. 100 downhill, quick left. 80 K left. And a quick right.
But things are all clear in the O'Sullivan Escort. The crew are enjoying an epic battle with those other Group A novices, Hugh Dunn and Greg Shinners. The rally leaders in the most bizarre of circumstances. The car looks fine, the crew are okay, so what happened?
When we come back into service, the car was obviously refueled for the next stage, and the rig itself, it seems as if it has airlocked and didn't put the proper number of litres into the car. As a result, when we got to the stage, we had 17 litres on board and not 27. That was it.
Well, the one consolation is you know you've got the right car and you know you've got the right pace, and you've dropped 1 round of the championship, but there's still 5 to go. 5
to go, and quite rightly the car's fantastic. The new Subaru Impreza is the car for the Irish tarmac for the moment, and with Pirelli's help we'll do the business later on.
It's a gift for Stephen Finlay and Rory Kennedy, but we have been denied an epic battle between the 2 World Championship teams. Stephen will use the remaining miles to try out further settings, and James Cullen and Ellen Morgan must be more than pleased with their inherited 2nd place. This is the man who's now hitting the headlines. Stephen Murphy is again setting fastest time. He's quickest over Borland. Ian Greer is happier now at the handling, and the 4th place finish is looking on the cards. It'll be a non in their Mitsubishi Evo 5s. The verdict eventually going to McVeigh, who is swapped back into the driver's seat. But the young Fisher has been in a class of his own. and uses the event to get him rally ready for his big World Championship outing with Peugeot on the Acropolis.
He's someone with a map, but he's going now. He's going, he's going, he's gone. Poor old Malcolm Campbell. So nearly held on to the Honda, but in the end the grass patches him out.